Idina Menzel joins us in the studio. It's so good to see you.
Hi,
everyone. Great to see you. And it's very wise what you said there.
It is. That's what I was thinking too, Tony. The doc is so well done. I'll start with you and Walker, because Walker, number one, is such a boy. The bond that you have is so close.
Yes.
There's great moments where you're on stage singing, he's bouncing a basketball while you're rehearsing.
Yes.
You get off the stage, you've had this great show, and the first thing he says is, "Can I have an avocado?" and you made it clear that you had to be home for Halloween.
Yes.
And you show yourself FaceTiming him right before you go on stage to help with his homework. So being a mother clearly is your top priority, yet like most mothers, you struggle with the guilt.
I do.
So how do you navigate that too?
Well, I just keep telling myself that I want my son to grow up seeing a powerful woman that chooses her passion as well. You know, I think hopefully he'll attract women like that to his life in whatever capacity. And I want to be there. I want to trick or treat and do all that. But I like being on stage as well. You know, I like the accolades and the attention.
Yes. And you deserve the attention. I love that you take us through your journey. We see you as a little kid. Your parents are arguing. I knew she was talented when she came out of the womb. I knew when she was 3.
They're competing.
Yeah, they're competing. But being at Madison Square Garden was a journey for you and a dream for you.
Yes.
And what it took for you to get there.
Yes, I wanted to document a dream coming true. You know, it's sort of like back in the Rent days, No Day But Today. We learned through that experience that we didn't want to take things for granted and we wanted to stay present, you know, in our lives. And I felt like, you know, this was something I aspired to do my whole life. I went Long Island girl.
'Cause you're from here.
Went to NYU, city girl, and I always wanted to play Madison Square Garden. And it was actually happening. So you can't let that stuff just pass you by, you know. But then in the process of filming it, I realized this is less a tour documentary, more about a mother running around like a chicken with her head cut off, trying to navigate both worlds.
Yeah.
When you're talking about the dream coming true, Madison Square Garden, it's a good opportunity to talk about how careers don't just go like this. It's not one moment of making it. And I think when you mentioned Rent, you were in Rent. It's a big breakout performance. It's off Broadway, goes to Broadway. You get a record deal.
Yes.
But then it doesn't sell.
And I get dropped, and my album sold like 3 albums or whatever.
Talk about rebuilding from there.
Yeah.
You know, I just try to, back then I was so ambitious, I was pounding the pavement, I really believed in myself, and you just got to keep working. I'd be songwriting, I'd get on stage at some of the smaller venues, and I feel like if you put yourself out there creatively and you keep doing what you love, things come back around. You know?
There's also a really poignant moment in the documentary because you're going through IVF treatments at the time, and that's something a lot of women struggle with, and they sometimes feel very alone, that they're doing this by themselves.
Yes.
Why was it important for you to share this?
I feel like our job as artists is, as long as we're protecting the people around us, is to make sure we're vulnerable and authentic. I feel like it's the only way I really can connect with an audience. I wanted other women to feel seen and heard in this process. It's physically and emotionally taxing. I wanted my husband to know how important he was to me. You know, I already have this beautiful child, but I got remarried and he didn't have kids, and I don't know. I just felt like it was really important to give it weight.
Aaron, your husband, is also knockout in this piece too. The bond that you have between the two of you is also a beautiful thing to see, Idina. Just last night, Frozen was on. I walk in and Let It Go is playing. I mean, where do you stand with that? Do you just cringe every time you hear it, or do you just full-throated embrace it?
I embrace it, but I know people always think we get sick of our songs, but maybe being a creature of the theater and doing 8 shows a week, I'm used to trying to discover something new and the nuance so that it feels fresh for me every night. And Let It Go has just been such a gift to me. It's a way that I'm connecting with a young audience, you know, and really talking about empowerment and embracing that thing in us that makes us unique.
So glad to hear that.
It's also a reminder to me as a grown woman to keep doing that. You know?
Honestly, you say it's been a gift to you, but your voice,
you're a gift to us.
It's a gift to the viewer. That
So
song,
true.
you embody it, you perform it so well, you make it what it is. And Vlad, it's going to be living in your head.
Oh, I know. I'm glad you're ready.
He's going to be
I love
He's
it.
becoming a first-time dad in January.
Yes,
He's having a little girl.
congrats.
Thank you very
You're
much.
gonna be so sick of me.
It's
I'm
not
sorry.
just her. I love Frozen too.
It is a great song. Yeah, I know.
But I also love Rent, and I also love you in Wicked.
Thank
It's
you.
like you have a couple of songs.
I try to do a job once every decade, you know?
Success.
Yeah.
I mean, you also address, I was wondering if you were going to put in the John Travolta part, because that became
Oh my God.
But I love that you included it, because in that moment, it might have been mortifying, but you've actually turned it around and said, this was a great thing that happened.
Yeah, why was it?
I
believe
that.
So we should tell people he mispronounces your name.
Yes.
Yes.
At the Grammys, I think you're about to
the
perform.
Oscars.
The Oscars. You're about to perform.
But I
And
love that
about
you
10
included that, Idina.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I had about 10 seconds after he did that to get my stuff together. And what happens in those 10 seconds is so many things. It's like, I feel sorry for myself that I'm at the Oscars and I'm in front of Meryl Streep and Brad Pitt and he says my name wrong. I tell myself, get out of this, stop pitying yourself, sing to your child.
You're doing
is
this in
your
8
moment.
seconds.
All in
Yes.
about 8 seconds
Yeah.
and then I start the first line, you know? But it was a gift to me. I mean, everybody in the New York world that knew me was like, oh, he screwed up her name. And everyone that never heard of me said, who is this
Yeah,
girl?
who is it? Get it right.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
great.
And of course he didn't mean
And he's
it.
apologized. Yes, he didn't mean
Yeah.
So nice.
No.
Yes.
Ends up being a
Idina
great thing.
Menzel,
Yes.
everybody knows your name. We're so glad you're here.
Yes.
The documentary is
Thank
great.
you.
Knockout. Bravo
Thank
to
you
you.
so
Bravo.
much.
Congratulations.
It's called Which Way to the Stage, which, by the way, is from Rent. It premieres next Friday, December 9th on Disney+.